Has an Amazon announcement by AEW possibly given the current details on the AEW status of former AEW World Champion CM Punk? We've got details on that. Plus, Eddie Kingston shoots hard on current AEW World Champion MJF. Are the Young Bucks set to leave AEW upon the expiration of their current contracts with the company? Got details on Kota Ibushi's future after leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling. Mandy Rose addresses if she could sign with AEW. Got the ratings for last week's edition of Rampage. Plus, Tony Khan has confirmed the location for AEW Double or Nothing. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of All Elite Wrestling. And let's start off talking once again about CM Punk, his current status with All Elite Wrestling, and something that I wanted to touch on because it's gathered a bit of momentum online, but I'm not really sure there's a lot into this one, especially when you look into the details and just do a few simple Google searches, but I thought I'd bring it you here. Now, it starts, you can see it on the screen right there, with a post from AEW on their Twitter account, and it regarded AEW saying that Amazon was All Elite. Now, you can see it right there, exactly what it says. It was talking about merchandise, saying that Amazon is All Elite. Get your Amazon exclusive AEW tees featuring the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Sting, Darby Allin, Chris Jericho, Adam Cole, Britt Baker, Hangman Page, and Jon Moxley. Essentially what it is they're releasing some t-shirts that you can only get on Amazon as opposed to other retailers, as opposed to anywhere else, essentially. However, when people clicked this link, they noticed one thing, and one shirt in particular that's got a lot of people talking. It was that t-shirt you can see right there in the top left-hand corner. It's a CM Punk t-shirt. It's an All Elite Wrestling CM Punk Best in the World Arms t-shirt, being retailed, by the way, at like $40, which is really expensive for a t-shirt, especially when you look at AEWshop.com. The t-shirts are significantly cheaper there. I guess that's what you get for shopping on Amazon. Nevertheless, some people went, that's interesting. They're still selling a CM Punk t-shirt. They're still selling CM Punk merchandise. Why would they do that if the guy was suspended from the company? Why would they be doing that if they were actively looking to cancel the contract, or they were negotiating a buyout of the contract with the former AEW World Champion? Again, it's certainly curious, and you can actually see that this is a shirt which you can only get at AEW live events as well. So again, I haven't been to an AEW live event because they haven't run one over here in the UK just yet. But I have seen pictures online sort of circulating about sometimes these t-shirts are made available at certain live events. Sometimes they're not. I don't really have a lot of current confirmed details on that. But this could be a situation whereby they're not selling them at live events, so they've shifted it to an Amazon exclusive. Nevertheless, some people said it's quite surprising and it's quite noteworthy. And as is the case a lot of the time with television or films like Marvel movies, sometimes the merchandise, the action figures, the t-shirts, all that kind of stuff can give broader and wider details on what is actually going to happen when it comes to the televised or film product. Is this an indication that because they're still selling CM Punk merchandise, because they're still making CM Punk merchandise, that CM Punk is indeed not suspended and he will be on his way back to AEW television once he has returned and recovered, rather, from his current triceps injury? Of course, that's what happened at All Out, in the main event of All Out, prior to all of the madness and the craziness involving the post-show media scrum and the brawl with the Elite. He tore his triceps in the main event match against Jon Moxley, where he captured the AEW World Championship for a second time. So is CM Punk's current status merely a guy that's returning or trying to recover, rather, from triceps surgery? That could be a possibility. However, when you look into this, it's not too much in it, because if you simply go to shopaew.com, you can still go to CM Punk's merchandise page and you can see all of the merchandise right there. You can see the same live event exclusive shirt, which you can purchase for a much cheaper price, by the way, at shopaew.com than you can on Amazon. You can see all of the other shirts that he AEW have at their disposal, including some of the shirts that he was set to be wearing on AEW television prior to getting injured and then suspended at All Out. So realistically, is it a big thing? Is it an indicator of CM Punk's current status in All Elite Wrestling? I think not. I think it's something whereby, again, people got excited. People are looking for stories when maybe there aren't any. Nevertheless, we don't really have any more details when it comes to CM Punk's current status with All Elite Wrestling. We don't really have any more details when it comes to his recovery. The expectation was that he'd be out for 9 months when he was recovering, or when he initially tore that tricep at the end of Double or Nothing in that main event match against Jon Moxley. So the prognosis was he'd be back ready to return to in-ring action by the sort of spring, by the summer. Whether that's in AEW, whether that's in WWE, whether that's somewhere else, we just don't know. Now, speaking of CM Punk, one person has had their say on Punk's actions at All Out last year. Was CM Punk right with what he did following AEW All Out in 2022? Of course, since the infamous September pay-per-view, Punk has not been seen on AEW programming due to his comments in the post-show media scrum and, of course, during that brawl that he had with the Elite backstage afterwards. Now, Jake Hager has weighed in on this situation. Punk is now the only person suspended at the time to still be suspended, we don't know, allegedly from AEW, and many believe his days with the company are through. While Tony Khan, the AEW president, refuses to speak about Punk when asked in interviews, Jake Hager weighed in when speaking on Storytime with Dutchman Tao. He said, quote, "Who knows how animosity builds and how lack of communication leads to certain things? I think it all stems from how you view things, and obviously one person in that party was viewing things so negatively, and I don't think he was correct." AEW has not revealed the results of the investigation into the backstage fight that was conducted by an independent third party. Given that the Elite are back on television and AEW World Trios champions, and again, while Punk is still recovering from this tricep surgery, whether he's suspended or not, we don't know. His ally, friend in the matter, who was also involved in the brawl, Ace Steel, he was fired. The results seemingly may have damned the former AEW World Champion. Now, as of right now, it's been over 150 days since the altercation at All Out, and Punk's future in AEW and wrestling as a whole remains uncertain. It had been reported months ago that Punk was seeking a buyout of his AEW deal, something that Tony Khan was in no hurry to grant. There had also been discussions about a non-compete clause. Again, those talks have largely subsided, as have the whole buyout stuff as well. So the answer is to all of this, we still don't know. And people are looking for maybe situations where there aren't none, but we'll have to wait and see. Of course, if we get any more details on CM Punk, his status in AEW will, of course, let you know. Another group that could be leaving, ironically, that is tied with this whole CM Punk drama is the Young Bucks. Matt and Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks have hinted at a potential AEW departure with their Twitter bio. Both the Jacksons currently serve as executive vice presidents of AEW, in addition to being part of the in-ring roster. The Young Bucks recently changed their Twitter bio to tease that they may only have limited time left with the promotion, writing, quote, "Less than a year left, where does the time go?" The Young Bucks have since removed this bio, and as of this recording, they haven't replaced it with anything, I don't think. Again, this might have changed by the time this video comes out. At the beginning of the year, on January 4, Fightful reported that Matt and Nick Jackson have been in discussions with AEW about new contracts, but that was sort of peeled back a little bit by a future report from Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter then revealed that the Young Bucks contracts are up at the end of 2023. Meltzer stated that as of the report, they were not close to a new deal with the company, but noted that AEW does want to, quote, lock them in. Again, there had been a lot of conflicting information about the nature of the negotiations. By all accounts, it was AEW trying to initiate discussions, but as far as how far those discussions were and how close they were to signing new deals, that was reportedly quite far off, but there's still plenty of time because, as the Young Bucks say, less than a year to go, so they've got the remainder of the year, AEW and the Young Bucks, to see if they can come to terms on a multi-year extension. It had been previously reported that Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks had signed 5-year deals in 2019, though Rhodes, of course, was able to leave after 3 in January 2022. Matt and Nick Jackson previously clarified that the 5-year deals were actually 3-year guarantees with 2-year rollovers. The Young Bucks signed on for their 2-year rollovers in December 2021, so the math does check out there. Along with Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks currently hold the AEW Trios World Championships, which the group won on the January 11 edition of Dynamite. They're set to defend them tonight on Dynamite against AR Fox and Top Flight. I don't expect them to drop them, but anything's certainly possible. Now, when it comes to the Young Bucks as well, a team that's often discussed alongside them is FTR, and Dax Harwood of FTR has opened up about his relationship with the Young Bucks deteriorating after Full Gear 2020. At the November 2020 pay-per-view, Matt and Nick Jackson defeated Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Speaking with Matt Coon on his FTR podcast, Harwood admitted that at the time he felt like he and Wheeler had been lied to by AEW, who had told him that FTR would be one of the teams that the promotion's tag division would be built around. Also discussing his relationship with Tony Khan, Howard said, quote, I felt like we were a backdrop. I felt that everything we had been promised when we came in, we were promised that the tag division was going to be built around these two teams, and I felt it wasn't being built around us. I felt we were lied to, and at the time we were being lied to. I think my relationship with Tony got even more strained. I felt the relationship with the Bucks completely deteriorated. I take the blame for that. I take the blame for it because I shouldn't have taken wrestling so seriously. If Tony decided he didn't think we were in that league or we should have been presented in a certain way, it's his company. Same thing with Vince. I hold no ill will toward Vince or Tony. Tony is one of my closest buds now, and I love him for what he's done for me and my family. I should have looked back and said, if Tony doesn't look at us in this light, what can I do to prove him wrong? Instead, I had the same thought, but I was going to be combative and fight for it, and I shouldn't have. It's his company. If there are ill feelings between us and the Young Bucks, it was because we took it personally, and we shouldn't have taken it personally. I think they took it how we felt personally, and they probably should have because we weren't being the best team players at that point. I can speak for me. I wasn't being the best team player because all of that shit I had going on in my brain. Of course, Howard and Wheeler are currently on a wrestling hiatus while they consider their next move, with their AEW contract set to expire in April. As far as a future decision, Howard's kind of spoken on that as well. Speaking on that same podcast, Howard noted that whatever he and Wheeler do next will likely be their final major wrestling venture. He said, quote, today marks month number 1 month of doing nothing, having fun, enjoying my family time. The biggest decision of our career is in April. Whatever we do in April, I feel will probably be the last thing we ever do in wrestling, period. At least on a national level in the ring for sure. It'll be the last thing ever we do in wrestling. So I've got to take a lot of things into consideration as far as what I want to do or where we're going to go. I have an idea with my heart what I want to do. I have an idea with my brain, and usually I say lead with your heart, but sometimes, especially in this business, man, you lead with your heart and you get your heart broken. So very cryptic, certainly, from Dax Howard as to what FTR may or may not do in the future, particularly when it comes to AEW. The shooting continues and the drama continues in AEW, this time with Eddie Kingston and AEW World Champion MJF. A popular AEW star, one being Eddie Kingston, has called MJF a, quote, real piece of shit. MJF is the current AEW World Champion and the top heel in the company since debuting for AEW in 2019. Maxwell Jacob Friedman has always blurred the line between his character and his real-life personality. Another AEW star who usually speaks his mind is Eddie Kingston, who has let his feelings about Friedman known in a new interview. Speaking on WTF with Mark Moron, Kingston addressed his true feelings on MJF. He said, quote, he's a real piece of shit. I'm just going to put that one out there. I don't know why he's the champion. He'll cry about it to Tony, then I'll get an email from Mega and HR, you can't be calling our world champion a piece of shit. Well, if he doesn't act like a piece of shit, I won't call him that. When Moron mentioned that being a piece of you-know-what is part of MJF's on-screen persona, Eddie replied, not backstage to the boys. He's a lowlife. He's a young kid who thinks he knows it all and he doesn't. F him. I don't give a shit. What are they going to do? Fire me? Okay, I'll work somewhere and make money. Kingston has since responded to the release of the interview in a Twitter post saying, quote, well, I guess the podcast came out and it is news now that I don't like our world's champion. Well, folks, he ain't the only one I don't like. It's simple. If you're not a good person in my eyes, important in my eyes, then go F yourself. Edit so AEW can retweet it. It remains to be seen, of course, if these comments will be used as any part of a storyline between the two men or if it is legitimately heat. The thing is with pro wrestling is you never truly know. Speaking of MJF, the Zac Efron-led Von Erich biopic The Iron Claw is set to release sometime this year, and it's finally been fully confirmed which member of the storied wrestling clan AEW World Champion Maxwell Jacob Friedman will play. Speaking on that same Mark Moron WCF podcast, Friedman shared a few more details on what fans can expect from him in the film and his role in it. Quote, I just booked a role and it's just finished wrapping with a movie called Iron Claw, Friedman said. It's about the Von Erichs. I played Lance Von Erich and he may or not have held the promoter up for money. Who's to say? Though Lance initially hailed from the state of Texas, Friedman stated he did not put on a Texan accent for the role, revealing that he didn't want to sound dumb. Initial reports stated MJF would take on the role of Lance, but those reports were later disputed by Friedman himself. With Friedman's eventual confirmation, fans can now expect to see MJF make his first foray into Hollywood as the relatively short-lived Von Erich cousin, one who was not actually part of the family in any reality. In addition to Friedman as Lance Von Erich and Efron as Kevin Von Erich, the Iron Claw will feature Jeremy Allen White as Kerry Von Erich, Harris Dickinson as David Von Erich, and Manhunter star Holt McClaney as Patriarch Fritz Von Erich. Along with members of the Von Erich family, the film is set to include wrestlers such as Ric Flair, Bruiser Brody, Michael Hayes, and Gino Hernandez in supporting roles. Obviously not the actual people, because a couple of them are dead. It's going to be people playing those people in certain roles there. We've got a bit of an update when it comes to the future of Kota Ibushi. Of course, lots of people wondering what Ibushi is going to be doing now that he has, of course, left New Japan Pro Wrestling. Following his contract expiring, Ibushi has been announced for GCW's collective shows during WrestleMania week. Ibushi hasn't wrestled since suffering a separated shoulder during the October 2021 G1 Climax Finals against Kazuchika Okada. Speaking with BBM Sports for Weekly Pro Wrestling, Ibushi noted that he now has no problem wrestling, noting he feels he has recovered to 90% of where he was at before the injury. He said, quote, "There is absolutely no problem in moving normally. I am passive in training and there is no problem in rope work. I think I have recovered about 90%. I wonder if they are, and I have no problem with playing matches." It was recently reported that there is major interest from a lot of companies in booking Ibushi. AEW President Tony Khan has confirmed he'd love to work with the Japanese star. And when it comes to his future as well, he's also spoken about that he wants to open a wrestling school. In a new interview with that weekly pro wrestling magazine via BBM Japan, the Golden Star opened up on his ideas he has for a wrestling school. He stated, quote, "To be honest, I have a limited life as a pro wrestler and I am now 40 years old, which is also a milestone for me. I want to train pro wrestlers, a professional wrestling school. It would be for a period of 6 months and I would provide dormitory and all meals. I'm thinking around 800,000 yen for 6 months of tuition, which would be around 130,000 or 140,000 yen per month. If I have a place to live, food to eat, and an environment where I can learn the wrestling I love, then in my opinion, it's not that expensive. I would also like to broadcast my training process on YouTube." Later in the interview, Ibushi made it clear that although he will be heading over to the United States to wrestle, he wants to make Japan his main battlefield. So again, he doesn't really have any major interest in signing long-term to a major North American promotion. What about Mandy Rose, though? Could the former NXT Women's Champion soon become All Elite? Well, after Mandy Rose's 413-day reign as NXT Women's Champion came to a screeching halt, WWE announced that Rose's tenure with the company had also come to an end. Rose's release came due to adult content she'd been posting on her fan time page, where Rose made $500,000 in the week after she was let go. Despite raking in the cash since, Rose was a regular presence on WWE television for over 7 years and now is out of the wrestling business in the blink of an eye. During an interview with Renee Paquette on The Sessions, Mandy Rose spoke about her future in wrestling and whether or not she'll compete in the ring again. Paquette, who works for AEW, asked Rose if she'd ever consider making her way to Tony Khan's company. Rose has a history with several AEW talents, having been partners with Dustin Rhodes in WWE's Mixed Match Challenge, teaming with Saraya as part of the Absolution faction. The former NXT Women's Champion said it would be nice to reunite with her old schools in AEW, but hasn't decided if she'll come back into the wrestling business so soon. Quote, "I haven't ruled it out for sure. It's not like the boots are hung up and stuff," Rose said. "It's just right now, it's not my main focus, but definitely for the future, maybe." Since WWE released Rose, Roxanne Perez has taken over as NXT Women's Champion, a move that was made in short order despite a long feud being planned. Perez defeated Rose's former Toxic Attraction partners Gigi Dolan and JC Jane at Vengeance Day to retain her title, which led to a reaction from Rose, simply stating she was proud of her girl's performance. Of course, Toxic Attraction completely split up after last night's episode of NXT on USA Network. We've also got the ratings for this past Friday's edition of AEW Rampage, and as one to expect, and as it has been recently, it's not good. AEW Rampage just continues to see a drop week after week, as last Friday's episode was watched by 406,000 average viewers, which is down 11% from the week prior. The key demographic continues to drop for Rampage as well, being watched by 149,000 viewers aged 18 to 49, with a 0.11 18 to 49 rating, which is down 20% from the prior week. From a year ago, the numbers show a sharp decline for Rampage, with episodes around the same time at 25% higher in total viewership in comparison to last week's, while the key demographic has suffered a whopping 45% drop-off, which again is ginormous. In the space of 12 months, 45%, nearly half of the 18 to 49 audience has disappeared. Something significant, certainly. Finally, Tony Khan has confirmed where we can expect to see Double or Nothing this year, and as one would expect, there is an update on the location for this year's Double or Nothing. The pay-per-view event debuted in 2019 and has become an annual fixture for AEW. While Double or Nothing has a Las Vegas casino theme, AEW was forced to hold the show inside Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida in 2020 and 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Of course, Double or Nothing made its return to Sin City in 2022, and if you were wondering what they had planned for the location for 2023, wonder no more. During an appearance on the Mark Hoke Show, AEW President Tony Khan was asked if fans should start preparing for Double or Nothing to be back in Las Vegas later this year, and his response was to the point. Quote, "Yes, you should," Khan said. "I cannot wait. I really believe we've built something very special in Las Vegas with Double or Nothing weekend. There's local fans in Vegas and fans who travel from all over the world to be part of Double or Nothing every year. Absolutely, as long as I can make it happen, which I think will be for many decades to come, I expect Double or Nothing to be part of the Las Vegas calendar, and Memorial Day in Las Vegas is about AEW now." Khan went on to talk about Memorial Day being an important holiday and how he feels AEW has built a nice tradition in Las Vegas. Khan expressed his belief that Double or Nothing has proven to be a successful show and feels a return to the gambling mecca is in order. So expect Double or Nothing to be in Vegas once again this year. But there you go, guys. It's the latest AEW news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Let me know your thoughts on today's AEW news stories in the comment section below. And remember, you can join our exclusive membership, be a part of the WN365. You can be part of the AEW roster if you trade and get signed. You can be part of the Wrestle News 365 roster, though. If you click the join button, you get access to badges, emojis, and exclusive members-only content, and receive priority chat as well. Hope you have a good day, and I'll speak to you again soon. Peace. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.